What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Nicola Espresso, and welcome back to the countdown. We're just 18 days out now from day 0. I'm extremely excited, especially to make something like this, because if you guys can't tell by the title, we're going to be talking about Ghosts and Ghosts 2 today. And why would I in the world be excited to talk about that? Well, because this is going to be the final, very last Call of Duty Ghosts video here on my channel. I cannot express to you how excited I am to say that, because, well, if you guys follow me at all, either on Twitter or here on my YouTube channel, you can tell that I am not a fan of Ghosts by any means. My gameplay has reflected that for probably going on somewhere around 2 to 3 months now, where I haven't even played it. The only reason that I'm even still, like, it's in my mind is because I'm doing a Road to Commander to get used to the Xbox One on Call of Duty Ghosts with Aaron FPS. So that is the only reason that that game is even still in existence in my mind. Otherwise than that, I completely wiped it out. But today what we're going to be talking about is a message to Infinity Ward going into what their next development title will be in 2016. Yeah. 2016, Ghost 2 is probably going to be what it's going to be, and what we're going to talk about today is I'm going to be extremely critical. I'm going to say that straight up. I was not a fan of Call of Duty Ghosts, as were a lot of people. It wasn't the best title by any means, and it honestly, a lot got called the worst title of the series. Now, honestly, I will say that there were moments where I did enjoy Ghosts, mostly those times being where I was the best in the lobby, which happened quite a bit, but me thriving off of that wasn't so much as common, simply because of how much crap there was in the game. So I will say that there were some things that had potential, but it's Infinity Ward we're talking about here. That potential, if it was with Sledgehammer or Treyarch, or maybe even any developer in general, it would have done a lot better. Infinity Ward, I've never been a fan of. I had some hope after, like, Modern Warfare 2. I enjoyed Modern Warfare 2. I wasn't good at it. There was so many problems with it, but I enjoyed it. Going into Modern Warfare 3, I was kind of okay with it. You know, I had a level head going in. I wasn't too doubtful or anything like that. Modern Warfare 3 pissed me off to no end, simply because of the people playing it, mainly the playstyles that were enabled and were able to be played against. It was extremely stupid. And then Ghosts, it was my last straw. It was my last real hope for Infinity Ward. And out of the gates, you know what? Last year I did a lot of information covering it, and I thought it was going to be something a lot better than it turned out to be. Meanwhile, whenever the game launched, wow, was I wrong. I have never 180'd so hard on a game in my entire gaming career. So going into 2016, if my channel isn't large by then, I really don't know what I'm going to do on YouTube, because there's absolutely no way I can be excited for a Ghost 2. The only thing that I would really even be looking forward to in the slightest is Extinction. That was the only thing that didn't make me want to just take my game, break it in half, and then frisbee it across my front yard. That was the only thing that kept me even a little bit interested in Ghost, and maybe even had my DLC worth it, which that's still a stretch. Now, while this is kind of just turning into a personal rant and thoughts on the game itself, what is my actual message to Infinity Ward with this? Well, main thing being, make a game that's complete. That's the biggest thing. There were so many problems plaguing this game from day one, and still to this day, there's a ton of problems. Black Ops 2 had a lot of problems in its heyday, but it didn't have that many come the start of Ghost. There were a lot of problems that were resolved over the course of the game's lifespan, and that's to be expected. But whenever you go in, like Ghost did, have a ton of problems with an incomplete game pretty much, and then still an entire year later, have your game still feel just as incomplete, that is a huge problem. And you know what? I'm gonna give Infinity Ward the benefit of the doubt here just a little bit. I can almost guarantee you, individually, everybody that works at that studio is a good person in some way, shape, or form. They have all families, they all have people that they care for and all that kind of stuff. And outside of the game development aspect, I bet they're amazing people. I bet that if I met one of them on the streets and shook their hands and had a conversation with them, I would genuinely like each and every one of them. But the thing is, when it comes to their job, the thing that they're getting paid to do and make a game that is supposed to revolve around what the community wants, they are just unbearably stubborn. The biggest thing that stuck out to me was the esports factor. The esports factor coming out of Black Ops 2, that community as a whole was one of the largest and fastest growing communities in gaming in general. Call of Duty was a relatively new game in the MLG Pro circuit and all that kind of stuff, especially compared to games like League of Legends and StarCraft and all that kind of stuff. It was the dwarf of it all. It was the underdog, the one that, you know, people didn't really ever think would make it that far in the competitive scene. Now, esports coming out of Black Ops 2 was booming. It was like the golden age of competitive gaming in Call of Duty. That was one of the fastest growing aspects of the game. And what did Ghost do? Almost absolutely nothing. I'm not sure if you guys do remember at all, but the entire community coming out of Black Ops 2, the professionals and all that, anybody that really had any say in how the competitive community worked or had any push in that community as a whole, pretty much said that Ghost was trash and that this was going to be one of the worst games going into a competitive season. And as a whole year of development goes by on the next title and you're stuck with whatever title is there that year, that is one of the worst things to hear ever. If you guys also remember, the esports modes in Ghost weren't optimized at all. Hell, for the first week and a half or so, Search and Destroy wasn't even in the game. Search and Rescue was there, and I watched a little bit of the pros play it when it actually came out, and God, does it not play anywhere near as competitively or strategically as Search and Destroy would. Another thing that hits me really hard is that the broadcaster mode was legitimately 3 cameras that you really didn't have any set control over. They were just planted in there, and you just had an overhead view of it for the first 2 weeks or so. Finally, a few changes came from that after literally the entire competitive community said, "This is trash. Please redo something for this, or you're just gonna ruin everybody's careers here." Finally, at that point, they gave a little leeway. About a month and a half later, it was all fixed and all that, and then Oracle was finally added in, which was actually a nice feature. That is something that I will say is innovative and is actually pretty nice to have when viewing competitive Call of Duty. But other than that, come launch of Ghosts, there was no optimization for that kind of stuff. And then just going into the entire community as a whole, there were so many problems with guns and gun balance at the start of the game, and none of them got fixed. I remember the MSBS took 2 shots out of its 3-round burst to kill somebody. You didn't even have to complete a full burst into a player to actually get the kill. That was just such BS. It was, oh my, the MSBS MS bullshit, pretty much. That was one of the biggest problems that I remember. I always died to that, and honestly, I actually succumbed to it. I just gave in and started using it, and right around that time, they patched it, so maybe I should start using all the things that are broken. But I don't mean to stay on one topic too long, because we're already 7 minutes into this or whatever it is. The next thing that really needs fixed in Ghost 2 is balance. That kind of leads in and carries over from the weapons that I'm talking about. I can't remember the last time that every single gun was actually balanced and actually did what it's supposed to in winning gunfights. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've lost gunfights, close quarters, to people that get 2 shots with a silenced LMG on me, and I have a rapid fire vector just aimed in and don't miss a shot. And slightly deviating from the path of weapons, the 2 biggest things that I can complain about in terms of game balance, whether it be connection-wise or whatever it is that decides the factor of this, the dogs and the knives in this game were just absolutely terrible. Please, God, do not bring back Riley. The amount of times that I had one spawn on me or totally lunge at me from ungodly amounts, and hell, I've even had dogs track me down after I die. They come literally across the map and kill me. I actually had that recorded one time. I'd have to dig up the file and show you guys, but it honestly happened. I have video proof and everything. I was flipping out when that happened. The dog was just unreal. You cannot have something that powerful be such a small kill streak and something that is that cheap at times. Again, the knives, something you don't even need a kill streak for. That's something you can literally just have at any point in time. It's equipped with you by default. If you're trying to piss me off, we'll go into that topic. If I had $1 though for every single time that somebody ran through bullets to knife me or just totally like 180 knifed me because of the auto aim on the knife, I would be absolutely rich. And I'm actually going to put an image up on screen now for you guys. This is actually 100%, actually 200% what I'm talking about in terms of knives. This is just the epitome of what is everything wrong with the knifing in this game. One is my point of view and the other is the enemy's perspective whenever he actually knifed me. It's just ridiculous. I can't even look at that picture without getting sick to my stomach. Ghost just had, without a doubt, the worst lunging in any game. I would take Modern Warfare 2's Commando lunge over the Ghost lunge any day. That is how bad that I thought it was. But game balance in general was just something that needed a lot more attention, something that didn't get anywhere near what it should have going into launch, and I honestly think that to this day, it's still something that is just terrible and almost makes this game an unfinished product that was sold for $60. Now, the last thing that I'm going to talk about, because I don't want to keep you guys too long, is the integrity of the game, just everything in general. It needed work, alright? Let's just put it that way. Like I said, Ghost was an unfinished product in my opinion. Everybody was like, oh, Battlefield 4 versus Call of Duty Ghost, it's gonna be the best first-person shooter games ever. No. Both of those games, I played Battlefield a little bit, and I know a lot of people in the Battlefield community. That game is so unfinished. They finally are actually making adjustments to it, and I wish I could say the same about Call of Duty Ghost, because I really feel like I wasted $60 last November, and it's something that I'm not gonna get back. I could have bought Advanced Warfare twice, for God's sakes, if I would have had that money back. It's something that I wish would be fixed, but I know it's not going to, and right now it's definitely way too late. We're a little over 2 weeks out from Advanced Warfare, and I wish that time would just go so much faster, because I can't stand looking at the Ghost disc in my disc tray. It is so annoying. The integrity, though, like, to give a specific example, one of the biggest things recently, actually, if you do follow competitive Call of Duty, I know I keep referring back to that a lot, and a lot of people here on this channel don't specifically like it, but one of the biggest things in competitive Call of Duty recently has been the bomb glitch, which is pretty much just a random act where you can't plant or defuse the bomb, and it's lost people matches, it's lost people championships, and a lot of money on the line, honestly, at the same point in time. So the biggest thing with that is there is no fix to it right now, and I say that extremely surprised and like just blown away, because it's not something that arose in the past couple of weeks, or this has been around since July, something that has cost people thousands of dollars in tournaments, and something that is just been an outcry from not even just the competitive community, but the community as a whole to Infinity Ward to fix this, and it hasn't been fixed yet. It's been since July. Multiple months, not a couple weeks, not a couple days, multiple months that this has been going on. That just leads back into my first point about everything being stubborn. It's just mind-blowing. Like, the integrity of the game isn't there. There's just so much stuff wrong that could have been fixed, and I guess that's just the best way to sum it up in general, is that there was just so much that could have been done more. So that's where we're gonna end it today, just about 12 and a half minutes into this video. 3 topics covered, 3 giant things that I want fixed in Ghost 2 if I even decide to buy that game. I'm not looking forward to it, but what I am looking forward to is the fact that we're only 18 days out now from Advanced Warfare. Something that I don't have to look at Ghost for another 2 years, because I am extremely looking forward to Advanced Warfare, and as always, I'm looking forward to the Treyarch title coming next year. Always been a Treyarch fan. Probably always will, unless they just screw something up like Infinity Ward did. Now, again, I'm not a huge fan of Infinity Ward. Don't mean for this to offend anybody. You guys are definitely entitled to your own opinions. I totally understand if you enjoyed the game. Everybody's different. Everybody thinks different. Everybody has different preferences. But that's been my time, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section down below. What do you think of all this? What do you think of my rambling on and ranting about this? And going into Advanced Warfare, is there anything else that you would like to say? Just down there in the comment section down below at all. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like the video, be sure to leave a like rating down below. Any shares to your Facebook, Twitter, and or MySpace if you're like that, always greatly appreciated. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe for the best of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare content and any new news information. You guys know exactly what I'm finding right here up on my channel. Thank you guys once again so much for watching. Mine has been Nikolai Espresso. As always, if you guys are having a great day, I shall see you guys tomorrow. Take care and peace.
Surprise, motherfucker.